Well, I hope there won't be much carryover, and I think most legislators are professional enough not to carry over their feelings of what was a very difficult session into what's going to be another very difficult session. But I think we need to focus on dealing with this budget shortfall, making sure that we are providing essential services to the best extent possible with the resources that we have, and making sure that the taxpayer is covered and has everything paid for that we absolutely
What about the governor's budget? I mean, we're looking at what, 1.5, 1.6? 1.6?
The big number is 1.6 billion. The governor's proposed a budget that has a number of components to it that the legislature is going to have to debate. Some things that I think are going to be very difficult to pass. But we're going to work with the administration on getting a balanced budget done before the end of the session.
Perhaps one of the more controversial issues certainly deals with the selling of prisons and perhaps other government buildings. Doesn't that sound like a one-time money type of issue that the governor had talked against?
Well, it's problematic in that selling prisons for one-time gain and then leasing them back strikes some as a mistake as far as from a fiscal perspective, or from a good budget perspective for that matter. And so I think that's the hardest hill to climb of the governor's proposals. But we'll work with it and see what comes of it. If we don't do it, we'll work on some other.
Southern and UNO, that's probably the most emotional issue, at least down in South Louisiana. And of course, you're, say, an author of the House bill, and I'm just wondering, given the 2/3 majority that you're going to have to get in order to pass that legislation, and given the emotionality, do you think that legislation has really a good chance?
I think it does. I think it has a good chance because it makes common sense. And really legislation that strikes everybody as being right generally gets passed. And in this case, making sure that the student is put first, that we better utilize the resources we have here in New Orleans to make sure that those students are taken care of, I think makes a lot of common sense to a lot of folks. And so I think the bills have a very good chance of passing.
A number of people are saying that SUNO has a very poor graduation rate, and then, however, some people are telling me that LSU Alexandria actually has a lower graduation rate.
I heard that for the first time the other day. The Perks Commission did not come to that conclusion. The Perk Commission said Alexandria's numbers were up. They were still low, but they were not lower than SUNO's. And more importantly, there's not the opportunity in Alexandria because they only have the one institution. So here we have two institutions that basically are backdoor to each other, and we have the opportunity to better quality education in the metropolitan New Orleans area, and I think we should take advantage of it.